Hello, it's Diane. I'm going to try to do a video here, and I'll tell you right off the bat, if you hear cute little singing and thumping noises, I'm watching my 6-year-old granddaughter, and she's in the bathtub right on the other side of this wall, and I can hear her singing, and she'll be thumping on the tub and stuff. So if you hear anything, that's all it is, and I'm going to try to get this done without her needing help. Before I get into these Christmas Traveler's Notebook style journals, I'll just explain. Each of these has some pieces of copy dyed muslin that I tore into the appropriate sizes and then stamped using StazOn. I used my trusty black and brown, of course, but I also used these. I don't know if you've seen these, but I've been collecting them one at a time for a little while, and they're just the small version, but they're StazOn ink, and they come in these gorgeous colors. I used Claret, Midnight Blue, and Emerald City. I might have used Ganache, but I don't remember. And I also have Orange Zest and Gothic Purple, but I didn't use them in this book. But I just wanted you to see some of the colors available in those little StazOn pads, which I bought at Michael's. And I also bought this tan colored tulle at Walmart on clearance after a holiday. I don't even know what. I got several different colors, and so that's what they're tied with. And they are Christmas TN's Traveler's Notebook style journals. So the covers are made with Recollections Love Notes. It's a craft cardstock with foiling and glitter and just designs on the papers. So I used those for each of the books. And I stitched some of the copy dyed muslin down the spine to reinforce it. I'll untie this one and get into it. So on the front of this one has a checkerboard gold foil pattern. And on the front is one of the muslin pieces that I stamped with this country style stocking full of stuff. And there's a piece of Christmas fabric behind it, a little Christmas ribbon, and this is a vintage button. And the vintage thread was still in the button, and so I just glued it on there. And there's eyelet stitched all along the bottom. Here's what it looks like opened up. And inside, I used a variety of papers. I have some Tim Holtz pieces and vintage books, and in each of these books I used the Graphic 45 12 Days of Christmas. I had the 8x8 pad, so I used those papers. So here's This Book Belongs To. This is coffee dyed paper, which I stenciled and stamped and stitched some trims on, and there's several tabs all along the top of this. Here's from a 1946, I believe, Children's Activities magazine, and I just cut out the December calendar and glued it to coffee dyed index card, and it doesn't correspond, the days don't correspond for this year, but I thought it was cute, and you can journal on the back. And then here's a tag that says, "And the story begins." Here's some of the Graphic 45 paper, a stamped muslin piece, and it has gathered fabric and rickrack up here. And some ledger to journal on, and some Christmas stamps from my mother's collection. This is from a book. I'll show you the book. I think I paid $1 for it at the library, and I've had it for a few years, and I forget about it. Christmas Memories book. It even has the family's name on it, but it was never used, and it's to be filled in to remember. I don't know how many Christmases it has, but it's got several pages for each Christmas for so many years. So I just started taking pages out of that and used them, and this is one of the pages. Holiday Visits and Visitors. Graphic 45 paper. This is a piece of transparency with a trim stitched to the top, and there's lace stitched along the bottom of this paper. Here's a gift tag. There's coffee dyed paper on the back, and a shipping tag with some glittery washi tape that someone sent me. This is a stamp that I have, so there's journaling there. This came out of a a blank journal with illustrations on it. And I never used the journal. I bought it, I don't know, really cheap a lot of years ago. And I've been taking the pages out and using them in journals. So this is a little girl making Christmas cookies. Here's some more washi tape. Tim Holtz little postcard stitched on there as a pocket. This came from that 1946 Children's Activities. It was an advertisement for Strathmore Toys. And I glued it to coffee dyed paper and then cut around it. I thought it was awful cute. I'm packing my sack with Magic Toys by Strathmore. There's another piece of that Christmas book paper. 12 Days of Christmas. I glued this on as a pocket. Glued that on. This is from a different Graphic 45 set. I only had just a very few pieces left from the Nutcracker sweet paper. There's an angel stamped on muslin with some fabric and rickrack. Some trim stitched here, and there's some stenciling and some splatters that I made with my marker. There's some children looking up the chimney. This is from that journal. Some washi tape. Someone sent me in a swap, sent me some samples of Christmas washi tape, and someone else sent me some also on a smaller card. And so I don't have a lot of Christmas. I only have two. I have these two, but I've been using the ones on the cards for these journals. This is a diagonal pocket with some trim stitched on it, and a tabbed card, heavyweight card for journaling. I did some stamping on that. And there's a little village, Christmas village, really pretty. This has a muslin, tree stamped on muslin with some seam binding. Another star stamped on muslin with this pretty fabric. And it kind of reminds me of Van Gogh's Starry Night. This is snowflake, not a star. And seam binding. This is from an old children's book, and it's textured, kind of like a linen feel paper. Very nice paper, good quality. It's a book I found in my parents' garage when we were helping them move. There's some a gingerbread boy stamped on muslin with fabric and some trim, and there's a little envelope here glued on with a couple of Tim Holtz Christmas postcards tucked in. This is from a Christmas songbook, We Three Kings of Orient Are. And then on this page, this is from that Saturday Evening Post Christmas edition that had images from their past, I don't know how many years, but this is obviously a vintage image of a family sitting by the fire. And on this side, I put a Christmas doily, stitched this little velveteen ribbon, and even vintage gift tag, and Tim Holtz card, and a Christmas journaling card are tucked in there. This one has Christmas stamps on it. And this one has a little double pocket. This is leftover piece of K & Company Christmas paper. And so is this, which I turned into a journaling card, which goes in the back. And the Mouse King from the Nutcracker is in here, and a Tim Holtz. See, there's Santa with the reindeer here, and here, and here. This one should have another card in this pocket. I take the cards out when I stitch the pages in, and the other card didn't make it back in, but I have it. It's just like this one, and it'll go in this side. So this is a double pocket here, stitched down the middle, and there's rickrack here, and a little cutout from a K & Company paper and Tim Holtz paper. Some stamping up there. This is a little page to open up and journal on, and it has a vintage gift card and a little sticker, vintage sticker to go on packages or envelopes. Isn't that glittery washi tape again? This one has a glassine bag, a tall one, with another vintage gift tag and sticker, a Tim Holtz Santa Claus with a plum pudding. This is just a piece of cardstock ledger with some washi tape on it. Another transparency pocket with trim. This one says Joy to the World. And a journaling card. The other side of that Christmas book page, another vintage gift tag. And there will be a tag in this also. I had my grandsons earlier today, and then I had to pick them up from school, and then their mother came, and then I got the granddaughter, so it's just been a little of this, a little of that today. I feel a little bit scattered. But I wanted to get this video done. I'm going to do this one quicker, hopefully. So this one has more of a glittered look. Very pretty. And it has this book plate, and I stamped the word memories, and it's not glued in, so you can take that little piece of paper out and put something else in there if you'd like. There's a stamp here. This is just a scrap for journaling on. So it has pretty much the same elements, stenciling and the vintage gift tags, the graphic 45 paper, muslin and fabrics. So I'll just flip through without saying too much. There's a piece of that muslin up here. It goes around to the other side. I love that little teddy bear stamp. Teddy bear in the stocking. There's muslin and mulberry paper. Some stamps. This one has a piece of the Edith Holden paper. Cheesecloth and fabrics. I'm going to glue this together so it will form an envelope. And it's the text page from the Edith Holden book. This one has a double pocket. There's a collage up here. This is a stamp on the fabric. This is the claret color, the burgundy. Scrap paper, journaling card. This is another scrap. And a Tim Holtz postcard. This is stamped on muslin. This one I left open in the back, so there's a tag in there that I stamped. Can you see that? It's reindeer stamped on there. This is a little tiny tuck spot. This one has a library card. It's from 1997, but they used an index card to make their library card. I liked it that it had the red writing for Christmas, and then I just put this vintage image on there. Some more fabric up there and a stamp. And this is from a vintage Christmas book. Very fragile. But I glued it, this is the cover of the book, and I glued it to this lined scrapbook paper. So those are the first two books. I should have told you this one will be called Christmas Stocking. This one is called Memories. I'll call it Christmas Memories. And I'll be back with the third one in a separate video.